everybody.
Hi. Welcome to the show. I am the notorious B.I.V. and this is my boy Pauly G.
How's everybody doing?
And hopefully you can hear us even better than last time.
We turned the volume up all the way,
Yeah.
so now it should be nice and loud.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to make the show better and better by incrementally better every time.
There you go.
Incremental improvements. So,
My principal, his challenge for us this year is 1% better. So if we just 1% better every time.
whoa, your principal's stealing other people's ideas. Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, it wasn't his idea.
Yeah, I've heard that one before. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, all right.
What's going on, Brandon?
You know, just stuff, I guess. No biggie.
What's on your mind?
Well, today we could talk about either trans shooters or the other thing I had in mind was like it kind of relates back to when we were talking before about like how if I was to like be back in the dating scene right now, I would not marry a 20-year-old, right?
Right.
So we could kind of continue on with that because there were some thoughts that I left out of that one. Or we could talk about trans shooters.
We could start with your thoughts that you left out. I don't know what you want to talk about.
So,
Trans shooters.
I mean, there are a lot of trans shooters in the news right now. We can leave that for now.
Okay.
It's controversial. So I'll start with a story.
Okay.
So at my last job, there was this, and at my last job, well, there was this girl that I'd see there from time to time. And at my last job, like it was really segmented. So like you didn't really, like my department didn't really interact with other departments.
Okay.
So like there were all these, so I'd see all these people in the building and stuff, and like I'm
You
like,
didn't know who they were or what
I'm just
department
like,
they worked for.
yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, I mean, like a lot of companies are just focused on like this is what we do,
Right.
and at that company it was like there were just all sorts of different things. Like different departments were doing their own things and had their and so anyway. So, but long story short, I would see this girl in the break room, and when like when you kind of note it, when you are aware of each other, but like you're not really it's like I would come in the break room and she would notice me, and I noticed that she noticed me, and it was just kind of that kind of thing.
Okay.
And so one day in the lobby, I was on a break and I was just there looking at my phone, and then she was like on this other couch just looking at her phone, and it was just kind of the two of us, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna say hi or whatever, like so it's not weird, right?
Right.
And so I start talking to her, and I guess the whole point of this is like I found and she's like 20 or whatever. I found out she was really young, and it was just like, and I just felt like it would be really like she was really easily impressed by me, like I was like, she was like, I don't know, it came up like that I had a degree or whatever, like call it like a bachelor's degree, right? And she was like, oh wow, that's so cool. I wish I could go to college or whatever. And I just kind of realized like it would be really easy to just like to get some young chick to be interested in you, because it's like, and the thing is, it doesn't seem fair in a lot of ways, right? Like like if you're, because I was thinking like, okay, you know, because like a young girl, a young chick is like, oh, you have a nice car and you have your own place and you have
Wife and kids.
well, yeah, there was that. But I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's so impressive or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was like dating like a 45-year-old, she'd be like, well, like, okay, you meet like the bare minimum requirements, right?
Right.
Like sure, like, but what else are you bringing to the table? You know what I mean?
Interesting. I've never really thought about it that way before.
Yeah.
I don't think when I see a younger girl, I think that she has any interest in me whatsoever. I just think I'm probably super old dude, and she, you know.
Yeah, but I think I think, I mean, older guys are in demand in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
Kind of like younger girls are in demand, right? Like men are interested in young, attractive women generally. I mean, to an extent, right? I mean, we've talked about like I wouldn't want to be with a 20-year-old right now when I'm, you know, over 50, right? I would, like, if I was dating, I'd be looking like maybe, you know, 40 would be the minimum probably, right?
Right.
You know, like I wouldn't want to be dating a 20 or 30-year-old. That'd be weird.
I don't think they would want to be dating us either.
Well,
or do you disagree?
I disagree. I mean,
Okay.
like, I think older guys. I mean, that's the thing. It's like when you're a young guy, you really don't. Your value is like pretty low, right? Like what do you have, right? It's like you don't have like a great job. You don't have a lot of money. You don't have, you know, whatever.
I guess just like you're saying that guys are interested in young attractive girls, I'm thinking girls are interested in young attractive guys, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think young attractive girls are interested in some old guy like me.
That's what I used to think.
Okay.
And then I'll share another story.
Okay.
I was dating a girl, and this was before I was married. So, you know, I don't date girls now that I'm married.
I'm glad to hear that.
But so I was dating this girl, and we like totally hit it off, and we like really clicked, and I was just like, oh, like you know. Well, actually, there was like a bomb threat on our building one day, or something.
Oh wow!
And so we got evacuated to the
backfield.
I think it was the Salt or like the Delta Center or something.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I worked right there. But it was at the time it was the Delta Center. Now it's what? Energy Solutions.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's it anymore. I think it's like
they keep changing it.
The Smart Home, whatever. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, but so like we got evacuated and we're all just hanging out there, and she and I just like hung out, and like I'd met her a little while before that, and that was when we just hung out like for this one day, and like she was hanging out with me, you know, and I was like, oh, this is cool, like you know, we're clicking or whatever. And people were like, oh, so and so, yeah, doesn't she have a boyfriend or something? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. You know, doesn't she go out with that one guy? You know, like people would say stuff like that, and I'd be like, well, I don't know, and I don't really care. Like we're clicking. I'm gonna ask her out. So I asked her out. We went out a couple of times, you know. And it turns out like she had this older like sugar daddy kind of guy, right?
Wow.
You know, not older. Like, I mean, how old are we? We were like 20. You know, we were 20 something. I was probably 28 or so. She was 28. I mean, around there. And this guy was, you know, probably like
in his 40s,
40 or something, you know, and had like his, you know, rode a motorcycle and had his own business and whatever, right? You know what I mean?
Interesting.
And I took my shot, and I was like, hey, listen, I really like you, and I want to be more than friends and whatever. And she was like, oh well, I don't know if I can, I don't. And like she just wouldn't leave this guy, right? She had this older, cooler, more experienced guy,
Wow.
and it was so that was kind of a little wake up call to me,
Weird.
just in some ways.
Yeah.
But but so but I mean there so going back to what we were talking about, though, there are a lot of guys who will like date a young chick, you know what I mean? Like Leonardo DiCaprio famously, right? I think I think he's like famous for like just dating really young women.
Oh, really?
Like I don't think he's dated anyone above 25 or something.
Seriously?
And he keeps getting older,
Sure.
but he never like dates anyone that's like older than 25 or something like that.
Wow.
Or never has anyway.
I don't know much about his personal life.
I don't either. But I mean, the point is, like, there are guys who will, who will date younger women, and to me, that just seems like it doesn't really. It seems like you're punching down, kind of like you're. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's just it would be really easy to impress them, right? Because yeah, if they're dating like young guys who work at Jiffy Lube or whatever, and like live with a bunch of roommates or whatever, right?
Right.
Like that's not as. And then some guy comes along who's like, oh yeah, I have my own apartment and I make a lot of money and whatever. I think that's attractive to women.
Yeah.
And the thing is, women look for different things. They look for like stability and someone who can provide for them. I'm not saying like they're gold diggers or whatever. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, some women are, I guess, but like, you know what I mean? Like women want, and plus, I mean, too, like, a lot of young guys are immature and goofy, and it's like a more mature guy comes along, they're like, oh yeah, this guy's like really cool or whatever. Anyway, that's that.
Okay.
So like, I just think that's kind of like taking the easy road if you're like trying to impress some girl, or like, or like you're like a 24-year-old and you're like dating a high school girl or something, right? You know what I mean?
In that case, it seems more logical. Like with, I'd be more impressed with this older guy because he's got money, he's got a car, he's got a place, he has all these things going for him.
Right.
But maybe you're right. I guess I'd never really thought about it that way.
Well, so this leads into my next thing, though, is that I feel a similar way to that as I do to like when a missionary goes on his mission and like marries some girl from his mission.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And maybe you'll have experience with this, because I know, and I was like very aware of that when I went on my mission. I was like, I'm not gonna date someone. I'm not gonna like marry some girl from my mission. I'm just not gonna do that. For one thing, I just thought, like, you're on your mission and we're talking about missions for the LDS Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, of which we are both members. Young men generally go on a 2-year mission when they are of age, 18 or 19. Anyway, so, but my point is, like, if you go somewhere foreign, and where you went to Honduras or
close, Guatemala.
Guatemala. Okay, yeah, that's right. You went to Guatemala. Like, did you ever have where like some of the local girls were like, "Oh, there's this big tall blonde guy," and like that's so exciting and cool, whatever.
I don't remember. I remember people thinking that it was just like I was just huge guy. Like people in Guatemala are pretty short and I'm
Right.
pretty tall. So I think just in general people are like, "Oh my gosh, there's this huge American." But I don't remember girls like fawning over me and I don't remember feeling like, "Oh man, I got to be careful or I'm going to get into trouble with some pretty girl or something." I don't remember ever feeling like that.
I don't remember anyone fawning over me, but like there were a couple of girls, a couple of sister missionaries, I should say, where like one of one of them was from American Samoa, and she went like when she finished her mission, she like wrote me a couple letters, and
Oh yeah.
we wrote back and forth a couple times. And there was another one from Tahiti, either Tahiti or New Caledonia, I forget. And she wrote to me for a while,
Huh.
and it's like I guess I could have pursued that if I'd wanted to. But my point is like it seems like you could really easily impress some foreign girl,
Mm,
you know, because like you're a foreigner and you're like, especially being an American, right? Like you're an American,
right.
you're like, you know, the thing, right? You're like the cool thing or whatever.
Right.
Um, so I think that's like unfair in a lot of ways too. Like no, like come back, marry an American girl, and like you know, like it might be a little more it's probably a little more difficult, but like okay, right?
I don't know if you can say a blanket statement like, "Oh, if you're an American and you met a girl in that country, like you shouldn't get married to each other." Because I know people who did, and they're really great people and have really good relationships.
Oh sure, I'm not saying like it can't work or whatever, but I'm just saying like make it an even playing field, you know? Like if you're I don't know.
I think I see what you're saying. It's easy. It would be easy for an American to say, "Oh, I can easily get some girl in this country to like me just because I'm an American."
Right, right. And you like yeah, I don't know. I just think it's and I mean and it was always weird to me too anyway because like I thought if you're in if you're in missionary mode, which you should be,
Right.
then then how can you make you're not in your right mind or not in your or just you're not in like dating mode, so like how could you make an a correct decision on dating someone? You know what I mean?
So the stories that I've heard from people who I know, and this is more people like they're both Americans,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Like they were in the same mission and then they came back
Right,
here.
right.
Okay.
Is it's like they met somebody and they're like, "Oh man, this person is really awesome," but I'm gonna flip the switch and say I can't think about this until after our mission's over, and then after a mission, then we can see, what happens, and then after the mission's over, they're like, "Oh wow, we got married because this person's
Yeah.
awesome."
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I mean,
I've heard lots of stories of people who met their spouse on their mission.
yeah. I was bound and determined not to do that though. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just like that bugged me.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. I knew a girl when I was in college from Japan, and I think she was very nice and very smart and very pretty and a really great person. But I had a really hard time with that cultural barrier. I would joke around, and it's like that. She didn't really get my sense of humor because of the language barrier.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I don't know if this can work. And I'm sure I could have tried to, assuming that she would have wanted to, but I think, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just one experience for me personally, but
Yeah, that's true. Cultural barriers are a little odd. Like, like I dated. Well, I dated. I don't know. I mean, I hung out with with some girls from like Peru. I think, yeah, from Peru, who didn't speak English really, and it was just hard to like. I mean, like I guess like we hung out or whatever, but like it was just hard communicating and
Yeah.
like you know, did and trying to like trying to read social cues and stuff like that from someone from another culture. It's just like
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, it works for some people. I know a guy who he served his mission in Guatemala, and then he met his wife online after his mission, and she's from Brazil, so he had to learn Portuguese.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
but they're like an awesome couple. Like you can tell that they are a really great, a really great couple. They really have a good relationship. So,
well, alrighty then. All right. Well, that's pretty much it.
all right.
So
Interesting. It'd be interesting to hear what you guys think.
what do you guys think?
What do you guys think?
Did you marry someone who was 20 years younger than you? Hopefully not.
But if you did,
and it's working amazingly well, leave a comment.
I know people in that situation too.
All right. Well, everybody, we'll see you all in the next video.
Take care.